Welcome, everybody, and thanks for attending today. This will be a presentation in partnership with OneStream Software. I'm with Proficient, and we're going to have a session on how you can do financial transformation with a unified platform with OneStream Software to be able to consolidate, report, plan, and analyze all your data with their data analytical capabilities. My name is Sajid Phillips, and I'm a director within our corporate performance management practice here at Proficient. We have 6 other directors in our group as well. Personally, I have about 20 years experience in CPM. Started as an end user, as much of the audience is in FP&A. Went on to training and consulting with Hyperion Solutions, with Oracle Corporations, and then PwC. And I've been with Proficient for 8+ years now. Last week, I'm sorry, it was my eighth year anniversary. I'm going to introduce John O'Rourke here from OneStream Software.
Hey, thanks, Aju, and greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm John O'Rourke. I run the product marketing and communications function for OneStream. Been with OneStream for just over 3 years now. And I also have over 20 years experience in CPM. Started my career in accounting and finance, and then moved into the enterprise software industry, and I spent about 10 years with Hyperion in product marketing there, focusing on the EPM products, and then I went over to Oracle after the acquisition, around 6 years. Continued to focus on the Hyperion products there, and then I spent a couple of years at Host Analytics before joining OneStream. So I look forward to a fun discussion today.
Thanks, John. So as far as those discussion points, how we've laid it out in the agenda here today, I'm going to introduce our company, Proficient, and then we'll introduce the OneStream software platform and how you can leverage this software to be able to consolidate and report across your corporate hierarchies for your various business units, how to streamline your close process and reduce your month-end close timeframe, and be able to scale in a cloud platform that OneStream offers, and how to add on to your application, how to extend OneStream in multiple ways. Proficient has been a partner with OneStream on multiple projects where we're going to share case studies or success stories for how we've implemented those solutions. And then we'll leave time at the end for Q&A. And throughout this presentation, we'll also have some polling questions that we'll layer in. And as Michelle mentioned, I'll describe those for you at that point in time, and make sure to hit submit to follow the CPE protocols. So who are we? Proficient is a global consulting firm. We have multiple pillars, Oracle, Microsoft. We have skills or expertise across multiple partners. And we're not a big four, but we're not a boutique. We are in a nice transition point in the middle. And based upon my personal experience, having worked at a big four, I love working here because we can be nimble and reach across organizations within our business and get the solution expertise that we need to deliver any project. So from our profile at a glance, we're approaching $500 million in revenue, a little bit exceeding that after 2019. We've been around for 20+ years. And one of the key metrics that I'd like to focus on about Proficient is about our repeat business rate. Here, this is globally across all of our pillars. When we get to CPM, I'll highlight that even more toward the end of the presentation. We have global delivery centers across the globe, which I'll speak to here in a second. But we have key alliance partnerships with major vendors. OneStream Software is the focus that we're going to talk about here today. And we have locations all across North America. We have development offices offshore if we need to leverage them. We have nearshore in Latin America. So we're a truly global company, and we can deliver multiple pillars of implementation based upon your business need. But the focus of today is going to be about OneStream itself. How does Proficient partner with OneStream, But to get started, we're going to talk about, hey, what does the software provide? Why are you here from FP&A or accounting? What solutions can you use to help with your close process or reporting and analytics? And what we'd like to do to kick off this thought process and discussion is introduce a polling question here. So what software is your organization currently using for your consolidations, actuals, your reporting of information, and your budgeting and planning processes? Make sure to hit submit after you've reviewed these answers, but you could be coming from an organization where you don't have a system in place today. You're taking data and dumping it in spreadsheets and then maybe pushing it into a SQL database and then retrieving data there. Or you might have some existing CPM solutions where you're using an on-premise platform and now you're considering, hey, going to the cloud. You may also be on the cloud already and you've done that transition, but now you're considering other choices. So take a minute here, give you about 20 seconds or so. Make sure to choose the appropriate radio button, and then make sure to hit submit to capture your answer. Most organizations are using something to be able to consolidate their data, and it's most likely one of these three solutions. But you never know; you might have another solution in place, and hence the not sure answer. Okay, so once you hit the submit, it will capture the information, and I'll go ahead and see what the results are. And this is typically what I've seen, in a lot of our implementations, is especially when we want to think about, hey, how can we improve on our existing processes? A lot of organizations start off with Excel or some type of spreadsheet solution. And this could be to consolidate data or do budgeting and forecasting. And another larger percentage have some existing on-premise applications. This is no surprise here. So what we're going to see here is how OneStream will deliver the requirements that you need to go to a cloud implementation, switch from spreadsheets, or maybe upgrade your existing software. And if you're not sure, this might be brand new information. Again, we have Q&A at the end. Feel free to put in your questions in the Q&A, and we'll answer at the end. John, I'll pass the ball on to you.
All right, thanks, Sanju. And thanks everyone for your responses there. So yeah, for those not familiar with OneStream, a quick overview of the company. Really was built around this notion of delivering 100% customer success. So we start on the left side with our visionary leadership. Bob Powers and Tom Shea were both experienced domain experts in the CPM arena. Bob had actually invented HFM. In fact, I worked with Bob back in 1997, 98, 99 timeframe. I built the business case for actually the company developing HFM, and Bob and his team developed the product, and we released it in 2000. Very successful solution there for financial consolidation and reporting. And then Tom Shea was one of the founders of a company called Upstream, and that company had a nice data quality, data integration solution that was very important to the Hyperion suite. So Hyperion actually acquired Upstream. That became the FDM product, and was also very successful and was adopted by a lot of customers. So Bob and Tom, a lot of expertise. They understood the value of the Hyperion applications and how customers use them. But they also saw some of the downsides of that kind of multi-product approach to CPM. So when Oracle acquired Hyperion in 2007, Bob and Tom had the opportunity to leave and start fresh and build the next generation solution to the same set of problems that really gave birth to OneStream. And they started with one customer and then two customers and three customers, and kind of built out the success one customer at a time. And if you roll forward to today, if you go to the right side of the slide there, we're over 600 employees now. We're over 600 customers as well. Actually have over 200 partners now, so that number is actually outdated. And we've built an organization with deep domain expertise across every major function: sales, pre-sales, certainly R&D, services, support, marketing, and also in our partner network, including Proficient. Another key element of delivering 100% customer success is having world-class support. So we really built a a support organization that responds quickly to customer inquiries. Typically, you get a response within 40 minutes, and typically resolution within a day or so. And so we're really proud of that, and customers really enjoy getting that fast response to their support requests. And that's been reflected in the industry accolades we've gotten over the last couple of years from organizations such as Nucleus Research, Dresner Advisory, BARC, who's over in Europe, Gartner, recognized as a leader in 2 Gartner Magic Quadrants, one for cloud financial close and one for cloud FP&A solutions, and also very high ratings on Gartner Peer Insights. So a lot of that is based on surveys of our customers who are very, very high satisfaction that comes through in those analyst surveys and reports. Speaking of customers, here's a sampling of our customer base. As mentioned, it's over 600 customers now globally. Tends to be kind of mid-sized to large enterprises across pretty much every industry. You'll see here in manufacturing, services, CPG. You'll see some hospitality. You'll see travel and transportation, financial services. We've got a big footprint in the federal government now, so even higher education. So we're pretty much touching every industry out there now. The one common thread is about 70% of our customers converted typically from multiple product deployments of legacy CPM solutions like the Oracle Hyperion suite. I've done a lot of replacements of SAP, BPC, and some of the other legacy products in the SAP portfolio, as well as IBM TM1, Cognos planning, controller, some of those applications, as well as cloud-based point solutions. And then about a third of our customers, going back to the survey earlier, converted from spreadsheets. So we've seen small, mid-sized, large enterprises that were relying on spreadsheets for these processes that finally kind of maxed out the spreadsheets. We're looking for a better solution and selected OneStream. So about a third of our customer base actually has been spreadsheet replacements. So we do see a lot of that in the marketplace. So what does OneStream do and provide? So OneStream really helps organizations modernize finance with we call a smart CPM platform, and we're using the term smart CPM to liken it to your smartphone. So just like you get a new smartphone, say it's an iPhone, out of the box, right, it has this built-in functionality. You can make a phone call, you can send a text, you can play music, browse the internet, got built-in location services and GPS capabilities, and then you download solutions that you want, right, for your iPhone from the App Store and configure it to your requirements, right, based on your airlines and your hotels and OpenTable and so forth, whatever you want to have on the phone. So the OneStream platform is similar to out of the box. It provides support for these key financial processes, right, financial close and consolidation, planning, budgeting, and forecasting, financial data quality, as well as a broad set of reporting and analytics capabilities. And it's all built into one single unified platform. These aren't separate products or modules or applications you have to install and maintain and upgrade. It's one single unified application. So it really simplifies life for the users, and also simplifies one system to just learn and use and log into and navigate, but also simplifies life for the administrators because it's one place just to maintain your metadata, to load your data from your various sources. That could be GLs, ERP systems, HCM, data warehouses, and so forth. And then when upgrades come, it's really easy to upgrade, right? Instead of having to upgrade 5, 6, 8 different products, we're updating one platform. It literally takes just a couple of hours. And we typically are replacing multiple legacy applications. Saju, you want to comment on that? Have you seen that as the trend with most of your clients, kind of replacing to like multiple legacy applications?
Absolutely. We've had customers with different CPM tools, and the key part of it is, as you alluded to, that direct integration piece. Where is their source data coming from? So if they're coming from Hyperion or Cognos or other tools, they might have a load process currently in place, and how we've replaced those legacy solutions with the direct connect and the direct integrations with OneStream. Absolutely have seen it with all of these tools mentioned here, and we're going to highlight some of those in the success stories later in the presentation.
Yeah, thanks. So that built-in financial data quality is a key capability and advantage, and we can integrate data through flat files if you want to, but a lot of customers do choose to go the direct integration route to their source systems. That gives them the ability to schedule those integrations and make that as automated as possible, but also to drill back into the source systems as they're doing analysis of, say, actuals versus budget and want to drill down to the transaction details. So it's really a key capability. So we modernize and simplify life for the users and administrators. And then secondly, we allow customers to extend their investment with the XF Marketplace. This is kind of our version of the iPhone App Store. And you can see how the phone on the left-hand side there has gotten filled in now with all those icons. So with OneStream, once you've implemented it and taking advantage of these core capabilities, you can then continue to extend your investment and leverage some of the XF Marketplace solutions. There's currently over 50 solutions in the XF Marketplace, and they're literally solutions that customers download, configure, and deploy into the platform. So it's not adding on modules or extensions. It's actually extending the capabilities of the platform itself with things like account reconciliations or tax provision in the close area. We've got a whole set of special purpose planning applications for people planning, capital planning, cash planning, sales planning, and so forth. And these are much different from competitors who have kind of marketplaces or hubs or exchanges with demos or starter kits or examples of what you can do. These are real OneStream developed solutions that we develop, we maintain, we support, and we upgrade them, and really works well for customers. Saju, do you want to comment on that? Have you seen any trends in terms of popularity of certain marketplace applications with your clients?
Absolutely. Account reconciliations has been highly popular this year with clients. So where they're evaluating, what systems to go to, we've had multiple customers with OneStream start with account reconciliations, even before they think about, hey, we're going to use OneStream for consolidations, planning, and budgeting. So that's been a very popular tool along with the Task Manager solution. And my most recent implementation, we've implemented all three: consolidations, account recs, and Task Manager, and I see that as a hot market tool currently.
Yeah, I'd agree. Those are very popular. So there's another example. The core platform itself can replace multiple legacy applications. We've had many cases where customers did that. They've implemented OneStream for financial close and reporting or planning and budgeting, and then they evaluated the account reconciliation solution and said, wow, this is a great solution. It can actually allow us to eliminate another legacy product, or not a legacy product, but even a point solution they're currently using, like a Blackline or Trintech or Oracle account reconciliations. Actually could turn off that product and just bring that process into the OneStream platform. Again, have a single platform that's supporting multiple business processes. So that's OneStream in a nutshell. I think we have a polling slide coming up here next, so we can go to the next poll question.
Sure. Thanks, John. What are the biggest challenges you're facing regarding consolidation, reporting, and planning? So again, think about what you're using today and what your challenges are. If the majority of the answer from the first polling question was you're using spreadsheets, I would imagine that's going to be highly manual, right, where you're manipulating data in Excel. Other situations could be where you have data from a GL, you have a data in a data warehouse, and then you're adding supplementary data through Excel, and you're having difficulty basically managing all of those data sets and being able to combine and consolidate. And another thing that we commonly see is multiple versions of the truth, right? As John just alluded to, we have a single platform here, right, where we can combine everything. And you don't need to go to separate systems. So when you can get everything into one application, you have a single source of the truth, if you will. And with OneStream's solutions, for example, with Task Manager that we were just talking about, the ease of use for people to log into the system, get their data. Security will be defined within one application. A challenge might be today is you don't have that self-service capability, right? So take a few more seconds here, read through these answers, make sure to hit the appropriate radio button and submit, and then we'll show the results here shortly. And again, I think on this polling question, those first two have been a large part of the challenges for most of the customers. So I'm curious to see what the answers are here today. Okay, so rounding out the Excel, and that's what I expected, the Excel processes and the multiple sources of data. If we round up there, that's almost 8 out of 10 responses here. within this session anyway. But again, OneStream addresses this, right? To be able to get data from different sources. And, now we're going to look at, why OneStream, based upon those answers. So what we'll look at here is, why do you want to choose a platform like OneStream? And John will start with some highlights on what the solution will do. And then I'm going to dive into some real-world case scenarios where we've implemented. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, thanks, Saju. Yeah, so we'll drill into a little more detail on some of the key advantages and capabilities of OneStream. The first one here is what we call extensible dimensionality, which is really kind of the secret sauce in OneStream that allows us to support both corporate standards in planning and reporting, but also provide relevance for people in operations so they can kind of extend the application to address some of their requirements. So a quick example here would be the chart of accounts dimension, right? So corporate might have a standard where net sales includes these four sub-accounts: operating sales, intercompany sales, returns, allowances, and so forth. So that's the corporate standard. So manufacturing inherits that corporate standard for their entity, for their part of the application, but they want to be able to track operating sales at an additional level of detail. They want to track it by third-party sales, OEM sales, and so forth. So they can actually extend the chart of accounts and add those additional levels of detail for their part of the application. It doesn't impact anyone else, just impacts their entity, and they can then plan and report and analyze at that level of detail that they require for that particular line of business. Now, services also inherits operating sales and the other accounts from corporate, but they want to be able to track operating sales according to things that mean something to their business, right? Management revenue, services revenue, event revenue, right? So they're using different levels of detail than manufacturing is, and it doesn't force that on anyone else. It just pertains to their part of the business. So you can see how we're supporting the corporate standard, but extending it to address the needs of different lines of business, different departments. The other cool thing is that you can vary the level of detail between different scenarios. We were talking about actuals in those first three examples. This next one is services. In their budget scenario, they actually want to be able to budget event revenue at some additional levels of detail, corporate events versus non-corporate events. So again, you can vary the level of detail across entities, but also across scenarios to, again, address your line of business reporting and planning requirements and make sure it all kind of maps and rolls up to the corporate standard without adding additional overhead, right, to everyone else's view of the business. So that's kind of a theoretical example. I'm not sure, Saj, you have any maybe customer examples you can speak about or how you've used extensible dimensionality with some of your clients?
Sure, absolutely. So this has been a big selling point for clients switching over to OneStream. We've had multiple use cases where they're going from Hyperion over to OneStream. And for that CPM solution, you would either have to have multiple cubes of information or multiple applications, depending on the size of the data sets that you're working with. But very specifically within OneStream, we've leveraged account extensibility like you've seen on here on the screen, scenario extensibility, where you can marry your summarized data versus your granular data across scenarios. But in addition to that, OneStream has other dimensions that you can extend through user-defined dimensions or custom dimensions. We've had multiple example cases for that. At the end of the day, it comes down to, during the scope of the scoping sessions with the client, is how are you analyzing your data, at what level, and then also what are your business processes? Your business unit's doing different than corporate as far as loading data. So we've used it extensively, for lack of a better term, John, to use that extensibility aspect, and it's been a great solution for a lot of our clients.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's a key capability, and it's really what allows us to replace multiple legacy applications and multiple instances of legacy applications, because sometimes a customer might have multiple instances of, say, HFM as a consolidation application to address those line of business requirements or divisional requirements, and we can accommodate that all within a single platform because of this extensible dimensionality capability. That's one of the secret sauces in OneStream. The second one here is also really important. It's what we call data blending. We used to talk about it as relational blending, but it's changed with new capabilities now. But it's the ability to plan at a really granular level of detail So, for example, people planning or capital planning, load in all your existing staff, right, and plan at a person level, and then drive that into, summarized, financial impacts, right, into the salaries and benefits and other, compensation elements. So that's really powerful. But another newer capability here is the ability to bring in transactional data from source systems. So say you want to be able to analyze, information about your suppliers and, look on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, how are my suppliers doing in terms of on-time delivery, quality of delivery, what kind of pricing are we getting, to identify, key maybe trends and signals in your data, in your business that can help you to make a decision. Maybe you might decide to change suppliers or negotiate, a better price on a certain component for your business, right? So pulling this detailed, granular data, blend it with the financial information, add financial intelligence to it, and then allow your decision makers to see that on a dashboard that combines the financial results with those detailed, transactional information, and identify key trends and signals you can use to make decisions on a, day-to-day, week-to-week basis that actually could impact your results at month-end or quarter-end. So it allows you to break out of that waiting for the results to come out of month-end or quarter-end and allow you to deliver information on a more frequent basis to your managers. And it's really powerful, and we're seeing a lot of great use cases of that now in the marketplace. Another capability we talked about briefly here is our cloud platform. So OneStream is a cloud-based solution, and we partner with Microsoft Azure as our cloud platform. It's been a great choice for us, gives us a lot of capabilities that we're able to pass along to customers in terms of availability, and uptime, and redundancy, and backups, and so forth. And it's also allowed us to get the FedRAMP moderate authorization. We're the first and only CPM vendor to get to that level. And so if you're in a public sector, federal agency or state and local government, or anyone who does business with the public sector, FedRAMP's kind of the gold standard for security of a cloud platform. So they went through an 18-month audit of OneStream in terms of our cloud platform and our security and our business processes, and we continue to be audited on an ongoing basis to get that stamp of recognition. So it is this is your trusted financial data. We know finance executives and teams have been a little reluctant to put their data in the cloud, but that's really changed a lot in the last few years, and having that FedRAMP authorization is a really nice stamp of approval in terms of the security of our cloud environment. And then the last thing here is going back to the OneStream XF marketplace. We just touched on it earlier, but here's a little more detail on the solutions there. We kind of categorize them into three main areas. We go from right to left: productivity tools, and there's a lot of utilities and tools in the marketplace to make life easy for consultants and administrators and users. On the user side, it's things like guided reporting and task manager. And parcel service is a nice little solution that allows you to quickly generate, many different reports and books of reports and distribute those out to line managers automatically instead of having to email them out, individually. So it just kind of allows you to automate that process. I mentioned earlier the planning and analysis solutions like people planning, capital planning. Also announced a predictive analytics solution this year, so you can download that and bring it into your planning and forecasting workflows to apply some algorithms to your planning and forecasting. And then the financial close and reporting areas, discussed this earlier, account reconciliations. This year we delivered a transaction matching solution. It's a nice complement to that. Tax provision is a solution that requires a little more services than the other ones do, because every company does tax provisioning differently. And also we have compliance solutions like a lease accounting solution developed by one of our partners. So I don't know, Saju, any comments there in terms of kind of your favorite solution, or any? You mentioned some of the popular ones earlier. Any favorites you have in terms of supporting your clients?
Sure. At my current client right now, we implemented a couple of productivity tools around cloud administration and a help desk system, an internal help desk system, which we customized to their needs. So in addition to the popular ones like account recs and people planning, you have marketplace solutions there where if you have a request, if we have a requirement from a client, we can customize forms or dashboards to be able to meet that. And specifically for this current client, they need to have the ability to create additional apps. So we use the Cloud Administration Tools Marketplace app. And then for this business that I'm working with currently, they have 50-plus ERPs, and each business is loading their own data. If they need to have some assistance internally from the corporate team, We developed a marketplace solution that OneStream provided, modified it to, quote, unquote, have an internal help desk. So it could be process, it could be financial. The pre-built solutions are there, which you can leverage in your app.
Yeah, it really is a nice capability. Again, we're not loading up the platform with all these things, and maybe you don't want to use some of them or many of them, but you pick the ones you want to use for your business, download them, configure them, deploy them into the platform, and it really allows you to extend your investment and add additional capabilities without adding complexity to the deployment. So if you want to learn more, you can go to our website and you'll see more detail on these applications. If you're a current customer, certainly you go to log into the marketplace and you can dive into these in more detail there as well. So to kind of summarize it, OneStream really enables what Gartner's now referring to as extensible finance, or XP&A, they also refer to it as, and it's the ability to take one single platform with a lot of financial intelligence at its core. So OneStream out of the box already has this built-in financial intelligence, right? It understands how to treat asset accounts versus liability accounts, or revenue accounts versus expense accounts, understands how to deal with those, understands currency intelligence, understands intercompanies, understands complex ownership, right? All that's already built into the platform, as well as these core capabilities like budgeting, planning, and forecasting, closing consolidation, features, a lot of built-in reporting and analytics, and then financial signaling. As I was mentioning earlier, that's that ability to bring in that detailed transactional data, merge it with the financial data, and deliver daily and weekly, trends and signals to your managers that they can use to make decisions on a day-to-day basis. So again, all of this is in one unified platform. It's not a separate products and applications you have to maintain and support and upgrade. It's one single unified platform that allows you to extend it over time to address additional needs as they come up. So with that, I guess we'll pass this back to Saju. Maybe you can talk about why your clients typically are selecting OneStream over some of the alternatives.
Thanks, John. All of those things that John were highlighting, we've seen it in action. In every one of our implementations, we've had requirements around, advanced consolidation processes. This client, an oil and gas industry does it a certain way. A retail customer does it another way. So leveraging those capabilities in that application, we've seen it from a data quality standpoint, consolidation, budgeting, forecasting, and we've definitely used extensibility, which I'm going to highlight in some of our success stories here shortly. Now, the technology itself, as mentioned, the cloud-hosted solution, the data blending pieces I'm going to highlight as well, how we've implemented it at a couple of customers. And what this does for you as an organization is, you're leveraging this one application and you're reducing your total cost of ownership, because now your admin is focusing on this single application. And if you do need to create new applications, as I mentioned before, like my current client, where they wanted to have maybe a sandbox or another application to do a different business process, you can do that relatively easily versus having to, create a whole new application and process. So those are the whys. I'm going to detail some case samples here. But before we get started, I have another polling question. And in this one, what you want to think about is, you've seen some of the capabilities, right? We're highlighting the definitions of what is OneStream and why is OneStream. What are your plans, as far as, what you're going forward? Most of you are using Excel today. Are you going to go down that route, stay in status quo? Or are you thinking about, moving to a platform where you can consolidate in one application, compare actual and budget in one application, and do your reporting? So what we're asking here, is over the next 12 months, are you planning to change? Are you already considering options? Are you moving to the cloud? Most customers are considering something like this, right? Is they want to improve efficiencies, get away from Excel, get away from those multiple apps, and then go through these choices. You have 4 radio buttons. Make sure to hit submit when you're done, and we'll see the results shortly. And again, based upon the past 2 polling questions, I have an idea. I think of what the answers might be. So I'm going to display here in a few seconds. And I'm curious to see that there were some plans to upgrade, and looks like some of you are not planning a change, so we're in good shape. So I could make a guess on that as maybe you're satisfied with your current CPM system. It's great to see that you are evaluating some options, because it's a big decision for FP&A and accounting. And what you're going to see here today next is those clients that did make a move, why they made the move, and also detail and highlight some key OneStream capabilities for them to resolve their challenge, if you will. So that'll take probably here another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll open up the forum for Q&A after our last polling question. One of our implementations was with Herbalife. This is a very large customer, a multi-billion-dollar global firm with locations throughout the world. So basically, as if you heard of them, they develop and market and sell nutrition type of products for personal care, and then they have a network of independent members. Now, what their main challenge is they had Hyperion today, Oracle S-Base, multiple cubes, multiple applications, and they needed to make a choice, right? Did they need to either upgrade to the latest version or move to the cloud? And this was a complete financial transformation for this client. So what we did was we implemented OneStream Extensible Finance, or XF for short, for not just their a specific piece of their process, but consolidations, budgeting, forecasting, full financial reporting, and we also did transfer of profit analysis. And then we actually added on, and this is some part of our repeatability with customers in our current phase where we're implementing account reconciliations as well. But as far as a highlight, for the source data is one of the key parts of OneStream from our previous slides was that ability to integrate data with your source system. So for this company, we integrated HR data so they can look at their labor plan, and we implemented drill back where they could go back to their GL across multiple year-end calendars and enabled some what-if modeling and auto eliminations. So all of that was implemented in this company. Their benefits have been, they have greater visibility to their detail. They can drill back and look at their information. OneStream comes with workflow processes that made their close process smoother. Again, a very large implementation. As with the second case, which was Centene. Centene is a large managed care organization. They offer products across the nation for Medicaid and Medicare members, as well as health insurance marketplace. They have 64,000 plus employees. And the reason why I mention that is here they also implemented people planning. So their main challenge was, where are they getting all their data? And they had multiple solutions implemented before OneStream. And they had a hard time, getting their data into one platform to do a consolidation. So the key benefits here for implementing OneStream at Centene were to standardize their reporting, improve their data movements. They had less manual processes, and they were able to quickly make changes to be able to report. So, for example, extensibility was implemented here. And during this implementation, we had a situation of an acquisition. So at go live of the project, Centene acquired a company called WellCare. Well, they had to quickly include that acquisition data where Centene performed, completed this go live implementation. Because we're already at the go live stage at the end of this project. But they were able to create all of the necessary changes, including the dimension changes and the mapping, so it's called the metadata, to get to their chart of accounts, their security in the workflow, load and create the reports. And that was a key aspect of extensibility within OneStream to enable them to achieve that. Another client that leveraged those direct connections that we saw earlier, and the highlight of this client was to be able to connect to Peoplesoft, because they had a challenge within all of their ministries. This is a nonprofit company where they had need access to the HR portion of the data to perform people planning, compensation, and benefits. So we were able to create direct connections to Peoplesoft, HCM, to implement a people planning solution. We were able to create a direct connect directly to Peoplesoft HCM for their GL data. And with those solutions, they were able to accurately report across multiple divisions, create a web service, and finance was able to 100% own this process and synchronize information going forward. Another example of this integration piece that OneStream provides is within the energy sector. And specifically at this company, they had a GL called Incorp. And just to highlight that, even though we displayed that there was, I believe, SAP, Oracle, EBS, all the standard, general ledgers that are out there, ERP systems, OneStream is flexible as long as we can connect to that source data for that ERP. And this client, we have multiple data sources for both the Infor ERP and a data warehouse where they uploaded data daily. Then the users can go in and update their reports based upon that data that's being fed. That included income statements, financial statements, and we built a process where those branches can get down to that level of detail. And to highlight the Analytical Blend solution that John was talking about, so this is that financial signaling aspect of OneStream that's been enabled. OneStream allows you to use Analytical Blend where, think of your consolidation data sitting in a cube, and then you have all of this additional data that's sitting in a separate data set where we can combine that into a dashboard at a high level. Then users have the ability to go in and self-service and create dashboards and retrieve data. Specifically in this Analytical Blend example, this was used at Centene, where we combined Peoplesoft data and other data sources, where users could pivot data and analyze dashboards, where they can retrieve that data, aggregate it across both data sets. And another example that we did at a manufacturer was they needed to have drill back capability down to the week level. So our cube data is a month-end close process for reporting, but they also wanted to be able to drill back and look at sales data, and we leverage Analytical Blend to do this, to look at a 4-4-5 spread, create the appropriate dimensionality, provided the dashboards, and they can do their analysis. So again, highlighting a key new feature. And then we're going to round off this discussion with a couple more case studies to hammer it home. Let's say you don't need Analytical Blend. You don't need all of those solutions. I want to get from Excel to a consolidation platform. So in this specific example, this customer was taking all of their Oracle EBS data, dumping it into a data warehouse using SSIS to do their consolidation. Took a very long time to get month-end close done. So what we did was create the direct integration to Oracle EBS, and that streamlined their consolidation process where they will be able to meet internal and external deadlines. And then unique to this customer, what we did was a drill back to the source. When we drilled back to the journal entry detail in a column of information, because they wanted to know what journal entry is tied to the data that was being posted and consolidated. And then this is another example of a customer where we're back and we're adding additional drill back detail. We're introducing cash flow reporting, because at that point in time, so my segue into that customer was, they weren't ready to turn on all the bells and whistles. They just needed to do consolidation process. Then phase two was, hey, we want to turn on some more things. So they're currently doing a cash flow project and adding enhancements on further granularity that they want to do. And then as you talk about expanding your application, right, as you know, it's not just going to be for consolidations and budgeting and forecasting. A couple more examples here, what OneStream can provide as far as that visibility. We had a customer where we had summary level detail that came from AP balances, but they need to be able to get back to the general ledger balances to get to the detail behind what they reported actual and budget. So actual and budget was, you know, summarized at a certain level. Then we configured drill back to be able to return journal entries from different source sets, being the GL or non-AP sources, all within one report. And another example of drill back could be, I have multiple drill types. I just don't have a drill type to a general ledger, or maybe I have multiple general ledgers. So this was a unique situation for this customer where this was in the oil and gas industry, midstream services to be exact. Their requirement was, hey, I need to look at current period, but I also need to look at year-to-date transactions. Then I want to compare from current to prior year-to-date transactions across multiple source systems. So we configured a solution to do that. And then just a graphic here just to show the user would they get a pop-up window where they could drill back to the level of detail that's needed. So for example, if they wanted to look at year over year, what's your current period today? You know, I'm at Q1 close for this year. I want to be able to retrieve Q1 of this year and the months associated with it and compare it to last year. All of that was customized with that drill back capability into a dashboard. So I know we're at 50 minutes, we're close to it, and this is where we wanted to end with a poll question, but before we get there and then open it up to a Q&A, is, you know, Proficient has been a OneStream partner for multiple years now. We're at the Platinum partner level. One thing I wanted to highlight here at the introduction, you know, our CPM practice, our corporate performance management practice, Excel, has 100% customer success rate and repeat business, as we've talked about in a couple of slides there, as far as, you know, repeatability, you know, coming back and doing multiple phases of projects. The industries you saw in the success stories included oil and gas and manufacturing, consumer. We specialize in these implementation. We're quickly approaching diamond status, and we'll get there in the near future. And one last thing on our Proficient and OneStream relationship, you know, John and I go way back, you know, because we both worked at Hyperion. You know, we both got acquired by Oracle. You know, and I haven't mentioned this to John. I was going to tell him before this call, but I really see, you know, OneStream as a great partner to work with, similar to my Hyperion days way back in the day. And we are also a OneStream authorized training partner. So in North America, our consultants deliver training classes, admin training, power user training, all of that that training. Obviously, we're doing it virtually right now because of COVID, but we have education center in Houston and California. Hopefully, we'll return to that in 2021. But I just want to highlight that because our consultants are also trainers, so they get to see the new stuff. They get to practice with the upgrade before they deliver that class. Last polling question of today's session, then we'll open up the forum for Q&A. Which of the cloud offerings is your organization currently considering? You know, obviously, hopefully now you'd see that, you know, OneStream is positioned very well in the cloud hosting solution space. Are you looking at OneStream? Are you looking at Oracle? Are you looking at other cloud offerings for your organization? Or, you know, maybe it's something not listed, or you don't have a cloud strategy at this time. So take a few seconds here to answer this question. Again, make sure to hit the submit button, and then we'll show the results. And I'll pass the ball over here to Michelle in a second to check our Q&A to see what questions that we have. And I'm curious to see what the results here as well. Hopefully you enjoyed the presentation. Hopefully if you have any questions, you'll put it into the Q&A. Feel free to ask. see, 2 more seconds. Let's see what the results are. And great, look at that, John. We got a big blue bar there at OneStream, almost half the audience. That's a good thing. That's a good thing to see. Again, I really like OneStream. I've had some experience in some other products listed here. Michelle, how are we doing on the Q&A questions?
We have a few here. Are you ready for them?
Go ahead.
All right, the first one I have is, what should we consider regarding project resources on our end?
Great question. So one of the things that we typically do when we sit down with the customer is, we lay out a project plan, what their requirements are and how we are going to deliver this. As far as project resources, definitely, we would want everybody in the room, as far as from FP&A and accounting, who is going to use the application, if you're going to do both consolidations and planning. And as far as resources, you would want to definitely identify an application administrator. I have a finance background. I'm an FP&A person way back, and I'm not a technical SQL guru or anything like that, but I found that, the application owner should reside in finance. They'll have the skill set. So that resource, I think, is definitely needed when you're thinking about a project implementing OneStream.
Great. Our next question here is, regarding consolidations, how robust is solution from a fluid environment perspective?
Yeah, it's a great question, John. I saw the details there about kind of changing organizational structures, right, where a subsidiary is maybe fully owned for a period of time, then it moves off to partially owned or something. OneStream is one of the most advanced consolidation engines in the world. Based on that experience that our founders had with the prior generation of products, and really strong at tracking entities and over time changing ownerships, percentages, and moving from the equity method to cost method to full consolidation. So very strong engine for doing that. I'm not sure if Saj, you've been experienced using those capabilities with OneStream.
Sure. The question I believe is around how your entity dimension can change over time from a high level. OneStream has a couple of facilities within the hierarchies where we use what's called a vary by scenario time option, similar to HFM, like an org by period. But it can be used on certain dimensions where you can execute a rule or a calculation based upon a specific scenario or a specific time period. But also within the business rules themselves, we have the ability to execute calculations over time. So if you have some type of equity pickup method or some type of subsidiary calculation that uses one method or the other, the solution is flexible enough that we can filter on that data set and calculate a certain data set one way versus another. That's for sure. Hopefully that answered that question.
All right, our next question here is, what has been the biggest challenge in implementations?
I can take that one, John. So the biggest challenge I've seen, and I'm going to relate this back to the very first poll question, is a majority of the audience was coming from Excel, is how clean is that data from a historical data perspective that we can map and load to our OneStream application, especially if you're coming from Excel and you have a lot of manual adjustments that are being made. So I think that's been one of the biggest challenges, but I think that challenge exists regardless of any CPM solution. Seen that across many years, many projects where is that data coming from? How do we load that historical data? How do we map it? That's that initial load process. That's been one of the biggest challenges for clients to adjust to, especially if you haven't used a CPM application before.
All right, and we have time for one more question here. How long is the admin training for OneStream?
So I can start and maybe.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, you guys do training as well. So I think for us, OneStream, I think I went through that course myself. It's like a 5-day course, I think, from OneStream. The admins, the user training can be shorter. Have you guys run the admin training? Is it like a 5 days still, or?
It's 4 days now, John. So what initially, I think for consultants, it's going to be 5 days still, but for client customers, it's a 4-day class. So I personally attended it up in Rochester, Michigan, a while back, and but now we're delivering it as well. But 4 days, again, like I was mentioning earlier, probably the application owner, FP&A, accounting representative. That's who you should send to training. Thanks for all the questions, guys.
Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate your time, Saju and John. This marks the end of our webinar. Thank you for joining us today.